I want to ask you about the aliens because we kind of briefly talked about them. When do you think we'll have contact with them? Where are they hiding? Do you think they have information for us? Do you think we can learn from them? Why do they care about us? And then the last thing I want to say is, you talked about this false flag attack. If we do hear this news of an alien invasion, how certain can you tell people right now that that's mostly likely not the case?
Well, I think you're going to have to get this evidence out. And this is one of the reasons why, in talking to some of the enforcement folks, I said one of the first things you need to secure are the means for doing this false flag operation and expose it for the fraud that it is. I mean, imagine if it had been exposed, in fact, that Saddam Hussein did not have weapons of mass destruction, and would not have gone in there. Imagine if it had been exposed that the Gulf of Tonkin incident in Vietnam had been exposed, and we had not expanded that war dramatically because we staged this false flag event in the Gulf of Tonkin during Vietnam. Everyone can look this up. Now, here's an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. My suggestion is that we get this whole nonsense exposed prior to them doing it, right? So that's really key. As for the different ET species, I usually say EBENs, extraterrestrial biological entities, EBEN. Right. The EBENs are clearly not hostile. I think they're very peaceful. I think they're mainly interested in seeing if what's happening on this planet with humans can transition to a peaceful planet to go into space, or if we're going to be a real problem. Right now, we're a real problem. And I sort of view us as almost, I hate to say it, as sort of cosmically quarantined, only because we're not considered civilized. Now, remember, Michikaku and others have said, a level 1 civilization is one that is at peace with itself and not destroying its environment in order to live technologically, whereas the level 0. So humanity right now, I hate to break the news to everybody, we're not barely half the step out of the jungle. So I think all these civilizations have, as I understand it, a prevailing interest in seeing that we make a transition to a sustainable, peaceful civilization that's no longer taking every advancement in technology to blow each other up, which is why this happened over the last 100 years. All the big advances in technology have been turned to the war machine, right? Well, that's okay when it's a new machine gun or a different cannon. But when you're dealing with thermonuclear weapons, and now you're dealing with having reverse engineered extraterrestrial technologies, those have been weaponized. So now you're in a situation where we're an existential threat to ourselves, but also out there. We're viewed as a threat to other civilizations. So I think looking at this through the eyes of ET, if you will, I think we're viewed as sort of a problem child that needs to get out of adolescence and become an adult. Having raised so many kids, everyone goes through these phases. And I think that that's the real issue, is that are we going to grow up and become a peaceful civilization that can go into space peacefully? So, but for that to happen, these games and all this trickery and nonsense that we keep seeing, the manipulations have to get exposed and stopped. Right now, the U.S. government is just at the beginning of this process. I'm hoping they pick up the pace pretty quickly in the next 6 to 12 months.
Part of me thinks that these...
Yeah, the ETs, just to be clear, are a very diverse group. I'm quite convinced they're working in a coalition with specialization of function. I don't see that any of them are hostile. I think there are some that are more, if you will, not law enforcement, security oriented in terms of an emerging civilization like ours becoming a threat to innocent planets. Because honestly, we have done a very poor job of keeping these technologies under the correct supervision. Right. And this is why Eisenhower, when he left office, that famous speech, beware the military-industrial complex, because it'll take away our democracy and it'll be a threat to our freedoms and this excessive secrecy. Jack Kennedy said the same thing. Senator Inouye during the Iran-Contra in 1986 said there exists a secret government with its own Air Force, its own Navy, its own funding mechanism that's above the law and free from the law itself. I'm almost quoting exactly. Go look at it. We have that clip up in our movie. And when you look at that, you go, well, there have been hints of this, but no one's ever been able to resolve the problem since the late 50s. And unfortunately, that's when it all went sideways. There was a direct contact, I understand, between Eisenhower and one of these species out near Muroc, California, near where Edwards is now. I have French intelligence gave me some documentation on it. And it appears that what was being suggested was that we would become peaceful, stop deploying these nuclear weapons and atomic and thermonuclear. It was by now this was 1956. And Eisenhower was favorably disposed to it, but the hardcore militarists did not want to do that. And then when he made it clear that's what he wanted to do, he ended up being sort of pushed aside and not read into a lot of what was happening. So he essentially lost control of those projects between 57 and 60, which is why he died very bitter about this. I mean, remember my team was friends with Jackie Gleason, and of course he was friends with Eisenhower, go golfing, and he talked about this and how bitter he was. I always remind people that beware the military-industrial complex. This was not some peacenik Abby Hoffman. This was a 5-star general and hero of World War II and a 2-term moderately conservative Republican president. Yeah. But so I think that one of the big issues is that the ETs have seen this very much over a number of decades, and it has not gotten resolved. But the big risk, in my view, is that it stays on the path it's on now, where we continue to study and unpack the technologies that are of extraterrestrial origin and then flip it and use it in staged events on Earth, but also targeting extraterrestrial assets out in our solar system and maybe beyond.
Right.
So I think this is a real problem. I mean, I think that we have to get this resolved.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, it's Brian Rose, founder of the DeFi Academy. I've told you my 4-week crypto bootcamp is amazing, but don't take my word for it. This is what my students are saying.
The DeFi Academy was an amazing experience for me. It took me totally out of my comfort zone.
In this course, I was challenged, I was held accountable, and pushed to do things that honestly weren't always easy.
It's been phenomenal, and I can't believe we're already up on our 4 weeks. It has flown by.
Going through this DeFi accelerator by far was one of the best courses I've taken.
You do this course, you really get into the nitty-gritty of the activities that will make you comfortable with decentralized finance.
Thank you so much to Brian and everyone at London Real and the DeFi Academy for even putting together an amazing course like this.
Anybody else that wants to do it, please sign up. It is well worth the money.